Hey, what's up? I got this nice Kobalt bit driver set, but no case for it. Comes in handy when I need to work on laptops or phones. And I had some other like Torx and Pentalope type drivers. And when I laid it all out, I realized the case was going to need to be pretty big. But I have this oversized printer that I created. It's an Ender 3 that's been modified by the Ender Extender 400XL. And I have plenty of room on my laser, which you see me using now to cut the EVA foam that I used for the tool padding inside the case. And I only went up 4 layers thick with the EVA foam. This is 1/8 inch thick sheets. This is like the regular EVA craft foam that you can buy at Wally World. And if I had it to do over again, I would have done more layers. In particular, the bit driver handle itself was the thickest item, and I really need more layers to hold it in. So I may tweak this design later on. Also, the EVA foam is a little bit too stretchy. It's a little bit too easy to deform, and it's really not best suited for this. What is typically used for making, a home for tools is a closed cell polyethylene. It's a very light and bit of kind of foam that really holds its shape well. And in this case, as I was trying to put the layers together, I would find that the layer that I was gluing down with the rubber cement was getting stretched, and it would wind up out of place, and it didn't match up exactly where it needed to be. And then as I was attaching each new layer, that became a kind of a compound effect. And so if I had this to do over again, I think I might just be doing some either some polyethylene, what is typically used, either with laser cutting or with just carving it by hand. And there are some neat tools, like it's like a metal loop that gets heated with electrical current that can cut circular gouges out of the foam. There's just, really tons of really neat tools for working on that closed cell polyethylene tool case type foam. Nevertheless, for my first project like this, it came out fairly decent. While the printer was running, making the bottom and the top, I was at work rubber cementing these layers of EVA foam together. And I went ahead and searched on the internet to find vectors for the Kobalt logo type for their name. And I went ahead and not only put that into the foam that would be on the inside, but I also 3D printed it onto the top of the plastic case that I printed. Speaking of the plastic case, it was inspired by an actual Kobalt plastic case that is similar, and it has one small magnet on each of the 4 corners and on both the base and the lid. And no matter how many times I try to design for those magnets, I seem to never allow quite enough depth or quite enough diameter on the circle. And I had the same issue this time. I wound up having to kind of pound on it with a dead blow hammer to get the magnets down into position. And if I ever make this model available on printables or something, which I may never do because most people don't have a printer big enough to print this, but if I ever do, I'll modify the design to make it easier to put the magnets in place. And also the tolerances, whenever you've got an inner lip on the bottom and an outer lip on the top that need to kind of slip over one another, no matter how many times I try to design it and allow a little bit of margin, a little bit of gap in between them, it seems, and especially when you're printing, I like to print big things like this at higher speed with thicker perimeter walls and thicker layers coming out of a bigger nozzle. For instance, instead of a 0.4 nozzle, this was printed with a 0.6 nozzle. And those little finer details are hard to get right on that. And so I didn't allow enough of a gap between the inner lip and the outer lip. but the overall, it does work, and I'm real pleased to be able to have this, and just wanted to show you how I made it in case it gives somebody some ideas for something that you can do for your own shop to give a nice place for your tools. This is Doug with Design 8 Studio, and until the next video, I wish you happy making.